Hello there once again. It's Pastor Greg. This is Transforming the World. In Luke chapter 15, we're introduced to two sons, two brothers. One of them was inefficient and one of them was not. The question, which of these two sons, which of these brothers was inefficient? Was it the older brother or was it the prodigal son? Let's talk about that in just a moment. I'll be right back. So, if you're familiar with the parable of the prodigal son, in this parable, Jesus introduces us to a younger boy, a younger son, a younger brother, who demanded his inheritance from his father. He gets it, and he leaves home. The older brother, on the other hand, stayed with his father. He stayed behind and continued to work, presumably work on the family farm. Now, again, if you're familiar with the story, the younger son, of course, squandered his wealth on reckless living and ends up broke, while the older son continued to stay at home and, again, presumably work on the family farm. We kind of conclude that it was a farm. Now, from a worldly perspective, we would be correct. When we say that the younger son was inefficient with his finances. Right? I mean, you get this inheritance and you go out and blow it. That doesn't sound very efficient to me. But what if we looked at this from a spiritual perspective? What if we looked at this from a spiritual perspective instead of a worldly perspective? That's where we end up seeing a huge difference. See if you can follow me here. From a spiritual perspective, the young son demonstrated effort to accomplish something. I mean, yeah, he squandered all his money and he ends up broke, but he shows some effort to come back home. Now, granted, when he comes back home, the boy did not expect to receive grace from his dad. No. But he showed some effort to come to his father. At least the boy showed some effort there, right? At least he showed some effort, some sort of effort. He knew his life was a wreck and he did something about it. On the other hand, the older brother, he walked away angry. He was actually upset and angry with his father for showing the younger brother some grace. And so he walks out. He actually literally would not walk back into the house because of his dad's mercy. He never even made an effort to come join the celebration. You know, the younger son had been dead, but now he's alive. He was lost, now he's found. The father's like, I've got to celebrate this. And the older brother's is like, well, I'm not. And so, both boys at some point end up leaving the house. The younger boy left the house, squandered all the money and came back on his own. The older brother, because of his anger in his heart, left home. And what you see in the story is that it's the father then that has to go out and connect with this older brother. Dad went out looking for this older son rather than the son coming and seeking out dad. So remember this. Efficiency is making an effort to accomplish something. Granted, the lower the effort, the greater the efficiency. The prodigal at least showed some effort, perhaps not the most efficient effort, but at least he showed some effort, right? He showed some effort. He journeys back home, not expecting grace, but at least he came looking for his father. And out of anger, the older brother, who storms out of the whole thing, Dad actually has to go looking for him. The son showed no effort. The older son showed no effort. He waited for the father to come to him. Luke 15:26. Have you ever met Christians? And yes, I'm saying Christians. Have you ever met Christians just like this older brother? They expect the whole world to cater to their desires and their preferences. They don't have to do diddly squat, but the world has to cater to them. You ever met Christians like that? Christians who never imagine needing to make a sacrifice for the good of others. No, others have to make the sacrifice for them. These are the Christians who literally lack the desire to draw close to God. Instead, they expect God to draw close to them. They sit in worship, never really fully engaged in saying, "Where are you, God?" and never once go seeking Him. And their lack of any effort is a demonstration of inefficiency. I have met far, far too many Christians who are content to remain right where they are, not serving, but being served, not growing, but stagnant, not giving to others, but demanding from others. These are older brother Christians. They are a model of inefficiency, spiritual inefficiency, because they contribute nothing to the kingdom of God. So I beg you, my friend, please do not allow this to happen to you. Peter warns us that in 2 Peter chapter 1, 5 through 7, Peter goes down this whole list. He says, make every effort to supplement, and he goes down this long list of things. He says, make every effort to supplement your faith with a generous portion of excellence, and supplement, and on and on and on it goes. And finally in verse 10, Peter says this, do these things and you will never fall away. There is effort involved. There is effort involved in our walk. There has to be effort involved in our walk of faith. There has to be. We have to go seeking. We have to be making the sacrifice. We have to be doing for others. We are the ones that walk to the Father instead of sitting idly by expecting Him to come to us. Remember that efficiency is a demonstration of effort. The lower the amount of effort, the greater the efficiency. But there's effort. There's effort. Make every effort, my friend, to not become like this elder son in the story of the prodigal son. You've been watching Transforming the World. My name is Pastor Greg, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow.